Meghan Markle is officially in panic mode, and her PR continues to get more extreme and ridiculous. You almost feel like the crazy is well and truly setting in.
Are they saying negative things and then secretly going home and making single skillet spaghetti? Possibly.
She's been booed, scolded, and erased. That's the brutal welcome Meghan Markle got when she tried to sneak her way into one of Hollywood's most exclusive Emmy events. She thought she'd walk into flashing cameras and polite applause, but instead, she was met with groans, whispers, and the kind of icy stares that say it all. This wasn't a one-off embarrassment either. This was the culmination of Meghan's desperate grab for relevance. From her failed Spotify deal, where executives branded her and Harry as grifters, to that infamous Platinum Jubilee moment in London, where a chorus of boos followed her every step, Meghan has been collecting humiliations like trophies, and in Hollywood, where association is currency, her stock has never been lower. She wanted headlines, but she got humiliation, and this time there was no Oprah interview, no Netflix documentary, and no carefully staged photo op to spin the story. Because in that glittering Emmy ballroom, Meghan Markle didn't just lose the spotlight, she was erased from it.
I think just naturally, I was doing what I've always loved to do, and people couldn't see that more broadly, but what I'd love to do was always make things in my kitchen.
Here's the thing about Meghan Markle. She's always imagined herself as Hollywood royalty. She wanted the invitations, the front row seats, the champagne toasts. But the reality is that Hollywood isn't buying it. Let's rewind for a second. Before Prince Harry, Meghan was what polite people call a working actress, which simply meant a D-list TV extra who struck gold with a cable show called Suits. But once she traded a Canadian soundstage for Windsor Castle, Meghan thought she'd upgraded for life. She pictured herself as the next Diana meets Oprah crossover, glamorous, adored, and untouchable. Fast forward to post-royal life, and what do we have? A Spotify deal so disastrous that their own executive called Meghan and Harry grifters, a Netflix animation, Pearl, canceled before it could even see daylight, and let's not forget Taylor Swift, who politely declined Meghan's Archetypes podcast invite, yes, even after Meghan wrote her a personal note. Ouch. And the cherry on top is Meghan's big brand rebrand moves, like sending jam jars to influencers under the oh-so-fancy name American Riviera Orchard haven't been giving the desired results. She has since ditched the name for something more subtle, as ever. Because nothing screams global powerhouse like homemade jam no one ever asked for. See, Meghan has been desperately trying to curate the image of an unstoppable mogul, but Hollywood deals in results, not Pinterest aesthetics. And when your biggest headline is rejected by Taylor Swift while your old show Suits breaks records without you, the illusion cracks. That's the Meghan who walked into the Emmy party uninvited. Not Hollywood's darling, not even a starlet, just a woman clinging to a narrative the industry has already written off.
Well, we moved here 5 years ago. Oh, we're just so happy because we can take our kids to school and have a really supported, sweet life.
The HBO Max Emmy nominee celebration party is one of the most coveted events in Hollywood. Everyone wants to be in that room, from A-list producers to the best actors in the world. It's the kind of room you can't even buy your way into, you have to earn it, and yet, Meghan Markle walked in. She wasn't on the list, not even on an invite. But there she was, sliding into Hollywood's hottest night like she belonged, except the room made it very clear that she didn't. The shift in energy was instant. Conversations froze mid-sentence, heads swiveled, and somewhere in the back, a voice cut through the tension. Oh no, not her. That one whisper spread like wildfire. You could practically feel the chandelier shake with the collective eye roll. Instead of polite applause or curious smiles, Meghan's grand entrance was met with groans, mutters, and then the unthinkable, boos. Yeah, the same kind of public rejection she'd already tasted back in London at the Platinum Jubilee, when a cathedral of people booed the Duchess. Only this time it wasn't royal watchers with Union Jacks. It was Hollywood power players, A-listers, and deal makers making their disdain very public. And here's the kicker. Meghan thought this was her big power move. She believed crashing this Emmy party would remind Hollywood she still had star power, but all it reminded them was how desperate she'd become. In Hollywood, association is currency, and no one wanted to be seen cashing in on Meghan Markle. Not the producers, not the stylists, hell, not even the hangers-on who would normally kill for a photo. The atmosphere didn't just cool, it froze her out completely. She wanted to reclaim the narrative. Instead, she turned the night's hottest event into her coldest humiliation yet.
What I'd love to do was always make things in my kitchen, do small flower arrangements, make a lot of jam.
Once Meghan crossed that threshold, the message was clear. Nobody wanted her there. Not one smile, not one polite nod, just a wall of cold shoulders. Witnesses swear you could see Zendaya, Hollywood's golden girl, catch sight of Meghan out of the corner of her eye and instantly pivot into a deep conversation with her assistant just to avoid making eye contact. Smooth, strategic, and brutal. Oh, and Pedro Pascal, one of the most sought-after stars of the night, well, he excused himself mid-laugh from a circle of colleagues the second Meghan edged closer and made a beeline for the bar. Ouch. Even the stylists and gossip-hungry journalists, the very people who usually chase quotes and selfies, acted like Meghan was radioactive. Phones suddenly went face down, eyes darted to the floor, and entire groups shifted their convos away from her, and it wasn't accidental. An insider later whispered that nobody wanted to be photographed with her. Nobody wanted to be seen shaking her hand, and in this town where association is currency, Meghan's stock has tanked. Think about that for a minute. Meghan once moved through rooms with Oprah on speed dial, with every camera angling to capture her smile, and now she couldn't even get a stylist to risk a photo op. This is more than just Hollywood gossip, it's Hollywood strategy. The industry had already watched her Spotify deal collapse, heard executives call her and Harry names, and seen her Netflix projects canceled. Aligning with Meghan wasn't chic anymore, it was career suicide. And on that glittering Emmy night, the power players decided collectively, Meghan wasn't a guest. She was a liability, and no one wanted their shine dimmed by her shadow.
Meghan not really accepting the concept of failure in business. And I'll tell you, Kinsey, she really should learn to embrace the concept of failure in business, because she is a failure in business.
If Meghan thought the boos were bad, what came next was pure humiliation. Security guards, headsets buzzing, were spotted huddling by the entrance, whispering she's not on the list, triple check it. Imagine that, the Duchess of Sussex reduced to a question mark on a list. And the solution was to keep her inside but clip her wings. Meghan wasn't ushered to the central tables with nominees and power players. Instead, she was quietly steered to a lonely seat near the exit corridor, far from the spotlight and far from the champagne toasts. And while Emmy nominees were clinking crystal glasses filled with Dom Perignon, Meghan was offered a discreet glass of water with no red carpet photos, no official press access. She was technically there, but stripped of every privilege that defined the night. One insider put it bluntly, she wasn't a guest, she was a problem. The cruelty didn't stop there either. Photographers reportedly deliberately angled their lenses away. Publicists refused to circulate her shots, and even when her team tried pushing carefully lit images to the wire services the next morning, agencies declined to pick them up. Nobody wanted to run Meghan's photos from an event she wasn't invited to, one publicist said. It would look like an endorsement. For Meghan, who built her post-royal career on controlling the optics with Netflix documentaries, Oprah interviews, and staged charity photos, this was the unspinnable disaster. You can't edit away boos. You can't Photoshop yourself into press coverage that never existed. That night, Meghan didn't just lose the room, she was strategically erased from it, as if Hollywood wanted the world to forget she'd even been there at all.
And just have fun, which is really, I think, the goal in this chapter. For me, certainly.
Hollywood insiders didn't see Meghan's Emmy stunt as a surprise. They saw it as the latest episode in a series of desperate rebrand attempts that kept falling flat. Think about it. Spotify cut ties after one season of Archetypes. The deal was worth tens of millions, but all Meghan walked away with was a brutal headline. Then came the Netflix flop. Her big animated series, Pearl, was canceled before it even saw the light of day. And when Meghan tried to lure A-listers into her orbit, even Taylor Swift passed on an invite to her podcast, ignoring a personal letter. When Taylor Swift doesn't return your call, Hollywood notices. And just when you thought the optics couldn't get worse, Meghan launched her much-hyped lifestyle brand. First, it was American Riviera Orchard, complete with influencer-style jam jars shipped out to friends. Cute, right? Except nobody bought the act. The brand was rebranded into As Ever, but the damage was done. Critics already saw it as a desperate Pinterest-level stunt, not a power move. Meanwhile, her old show, the one Meghan's been trying to distance herself from, exploded on Netflix, racking up over 57 billion streaming minutes in 2023 alone. Her past is thriving without her, while her present is jam jars and canceled deals. This is the bigger pattern. Meghan keeps trying to reinvent herself as Hollywood's lifestyle queen, a mogul, a visionary. But the industry has already written her off, and every failed project, every public snub, only makes her look more desperate to claw back relevance that isn't coming.
Is anything actually a failure, ultimately? Because you're going to learn from it no matter what happens. But no, I feel confident in what I've been dreaming up for so long. I feel confident in the partner that I have, and I feel really proud of the team that I have.
If you think Meghan's rejection is just a Hollywood thing, then you've not been following this drama all this time. The numbers don't lie, and neither do the crowds. In the UK, Meghan's approval ratings have hit rock bottom. Recent YouGov polls show her favorability hovering around a pitiful 20%, one of the lowest for any public figure tied to the royal family. You know what that means. It means 8 out of 10 Britons don't buy what she's selling. That's not just bad PR, that's a public wipeout. And when she stepped back onto British soil for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, the boos said it louder than any poll could. Outside St. Paul's Cathedral, Meghan walked in expecting the cheers she once commanded. Instead, she got a wall of jeers that echoed across the cobblestones, a chorus of disapproval broadcast worldwide. It was the kind of soundbite you can't spin away, and it stuck. Even in the US, where Meghan once imagined herself a media darling, the shine is fading. Polls show a lukewarm split audience, some indifferent, but many are unimpressed. For someone who dreamed of dominating Hollywood, mixed reviews is practically career death. So when Meghan tried to crash the Emmys, those groans and whispers weren't random. They were the latest verse in a chorus of rejection she's been hearing for years. From London's cathedrals to Hollywood's ballrooms, the verdict is the same. Meghan Markle isn't wanted.
She keeps making all these statements. Oh, I might start some hotels. I got some Chateau Meg Rosé coming out, and then the Meg Inn hotels, then the Meg Tuck In restaurants. Keeps talking about all this. Meanwhile, as far as I understand it, no one is really able to buy anything from As Ever.
If Hollywood's cold shoulder wasn't enough, the culture at large has already turned Meghan Markle into a running joke. Remember when South Park dedicated an entire episode to Harry and Meghan's worldwide privacy tour? Animated versions of the couple parading through towns with banners demanding privacy while shouting, "Look at us." It was brutal, petty, and it went viral. That episode didn't just sting, it cemented Meghan as a cultural punchline. And then came the infamous New York car chase. Meghan and Harry's team described it as near catastrophic, but almost instantly the narrative cracked. New York's mayor questioned how any high-speed chase could even happen in Manhattan traffic. The taxi driver involved shrugged it off. Eyewitnesses contradicted the dramatics, and what was meant to be a sympathy headline turned into another credibility crisis. Add to that the whispers around Archewell, critics calling their projects virtue signaling tours with no real impact. You get the picture. Meghan isn't commanding respect, she's fueling memes, skepticism, and late-night punchlines. For someone obsessed with image, becoming pop culture's favorite target is the cruelest twist of all. Meghan wanted to be Hollywood's leading lady, but instead she's playing the role of Hollywood's cautionary tale.
But what I think she's trying to cover up there is the fact she has failed on a dizzying number of levels over the past.
By the time Meghan left that Emmy ballroom, one thing was crystal clear. Her star power had burned down. Hollywood runs on two currencies, relevance and reputation. Meghan has neither. The Emmys proved it wasn't just about one awkward night, it was about an entire industry deciding she's no longer worth the risk. Yes, she signed with WME, Ari Emanuel's powerhouse agency, and yes, Netflix has her lifestyle series with Love Meghan and Harry's Polo project in the pipeline. But let's be real, those announcements landed with a thud. For every glossy press release, there are louder headlines. Spotify calling her a grifter, a multi-million-dollar animation in Pearl canceled without warning, a lifestyle brand mocked for sending jam jars to influencers like a desperate Etsy shop. And while Meghan is scrambling to build a new identity, the culture has already moved on. Her old show Suits exploded into one of the most watched series of 2023 without her involvement. The irony is that Meghan is now less relevant to Suits than the background actors she once worked beside. The truth is, Meghan's illusion of Hollywood domination shattered long ago. The Emmys just made it public. And when an entire room of A-listers agrees to pretend you don't exist, that's not a setback, that's a funeral for your fame. For a woman who built her brand on controlling the narrative, this was the one story she couldn't spin. No Netflix edit, no Oprah confessional, no carefully staged photos, just Meghan, frozen out, erased, and ignored. And maybe that's the real humiliation. Not the boos, not even the headlines, but the silence. Because in Hollywood, silence is the loudest boo of all. She wanted the spotlight, and instead the cameras turned away. She wanted a comeback, but instead she got a blackout. Meghan Markle didn't just lose the room that night, she lost Hollywood.